Marlon Brando, Life, Struggles, Controversies, and Rise to Stardom. Marlon Brando, born April 3, 1924 in Omaha, Nebraska, is widely regarded as one of the greatest and most influential actors in cinematic history. His intense performances, unique method acting, and complex personal life contributed to his status as both a Hollywood legend and an enigmatic figure. However, Brando's life was as filled with struggles and controversies as it was with artistic success. His journey to superstardom was marked by rebellion, innovation, personal turmoil, and fierce independence, both on and off the screen. Early life and struggles. Brando's childhood was marred by emotional difficulties. His father, Marlon Brando Sr., was harsh and often critical, while his mother, Dorothy, was an alcoholic. Despite the turbulence in his household, Brando inherited his mother's love for the arts. At a young age, he was rebellious, frequently clashing with authority. This defiance was evident when he was expelled from various schools, including the prestigious Shattuck Military Academy. After leaving school, Brando moved to New York City in 1943, where he studied acting at the Actors Studio under the tutelage of Stella Adler and Elia Kazan, proponents of the Stanislavski method, which encouraged actors to draw from personal experiences to deliver authentic performances. This training would later shape Brando's career and revolutionize the craft of acting. Rise to stardom. The rebel and innovator. Brando's rise to fame came in the early 1950s when he brought a raw, animalistic energy to the stage and screen. His breakthrough came with the Broadway play A Streetcar Named Desire, 1947, where his portrayal of Stanley Kowalski, both violent and vulnerable, stunned audiences. In 1951, Brando reprised the role in the film adaptation directed by Elia Kazan. His portrayal earned him an Academy Award nomination and made him an overnight sensation. Brando's rugged masculinity and deeply emotional performances were a breath of fresh air in an industry dominated by more polished, classical acting styles. He continued to challenge conventional acting with films like Viva Zapata, 1952, Julius Caesar, 1953, and The Wild One, 1953, where his portrayal of a rebellious motorcycle gang leader became iconic, further cementing his image as Hollywood's ultimate outsider. It was in 1954, however, that Brando reached the pinnacle of his career with On the Waterfront. His portrayal of Terry Malloy, a washed-up boxer who confronts corruption, earned him his first Academy Award for Best Actor. The line, "I could have been a contender," became one of the most famous in cinematic history, and Brando's ability to blend vulnerability with machismo set a new standard for actors. Struggles and controversies. A troubled soul. Despite his success, Brando was a notoriously difficult personality both on and off set. He was known for his defiance of Hollywood's expectations and his resistance to the studio system. He frequently clashed with directors, showed up late to shoots, and rejected scripts he didn't find meaningful. His reputation as a troublemaker grew, and his career began to suffer as a result. Brando's personal life was also riddled with turmoil. He had several tumultuous relationships and marriages, fathering numerous children. His private life often made headlines, especially as he distanced himself from Hollywood fame in the late 1950s and early 1960s. He also became a political activist, an endeavor that earned him both respect and criticism. Brando used his fame to champion causes such as the civil rights movement and the plight of Native Americans. His activism reached its peak in 1973 when he refused to accept his second Academy Award for The Godfather in protest of Hollywood's depiction of Native Americans. Instead, he sent Native American actress and activist Sacheen Littlefeather to the Oscars to reject the award on his behalf, a move that stirred widespread controversy. Brando's erratic behavior on film sets further complicated his career. During the filming of Mutiny on the Bounty, 1962, Brando was reported to be uncontrollable, causing delays and budget overruns. His reputation plummeted, and for a time he was considered box office poison. Rebirth. The Godfather and later career. In the early 1970s, Marlon Brando's career experienced an unexpected revival. He was cast as Vito Corleone in The Godfather, 1972, a role that director Francis Ford Coppola fought to give him despite studio opposition. Brando's performance was nothing short of transformative. His portrayal of the aging mafia don was subtle, commanding, and deeply human. The role earned him his second Academy Award award, which he famously refused, and The Godfather became one of the most celebrated films of all time. Following The Godfather, Brando delivered another masterful performance in Last Tango in Paris, 1972, a highly controversial film directed by Bernardo Bertolucci. The film's explicit sexual content and Brando's emotionally raw performance divided critics and audiences, further solidifying Brando's reputation as a boundary-pushing artist. In the latter part of his career, Brando appeared in several notable films, including Apocalypse Now, 1979, and Superman, 1978. However, he increasingly withdrew from Hollywood, taking on fewer roles and becoming more reclusive. He remained a larger-than-life figure, even as his career wound down. Legacy. Marlon Brando passed away in 2004 at the age of 80, leaving behind a complicated legacy. He revolutionized acting, introducing a naturalistic style that deeply influenced future generations of actors, including Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Jack Nicholson. His commitment to authenticity on screen reshaped the craft of acting and remains a benchmark for artists today. However, Brando's life was equally defined by his personal demons, his battles with depression, tumultuous relationships, and volatile behavior. His activism and refusal to conform to Hollywood's expectations also made him an outsider, a figure who both embraced and rejected his stardom. In the end, Brando's brilliance as an actor and his complexity as a human being left an indelible mark on both cinema and the cultural landscape.